You might treat closed loss deals in your CRM as dead weight, but what if you could use an AI agent within n8n and actually find money left on the table? So today I am going to show you how to build an automation that scans your lost deals, rewrites the notes with AI, and then drops a clear follow-up in your rep's inbox. So what we're going to do is to go through this whole automation, and you will get all of this, by the way, all of the assets, the n8n flow, and also the prompts that I'm sharing here. And the link will be in the description. So this is the lead that this is rather the flow that we are going to build. And let's have a quick look into our CRM. So I'm working with HubSpot here, but I'm trying to keep this as CRM agnostic as possible. But just to give you an idea what we're dealing with. So let's say we are in the CRM section, and then we are within our deals, right? So these are potential leads, and these are the stages that we have put these leads into, right? So we have a deal name, we have the amount, then we have the deal stage. If and when they were closed, then we have a reason, and these are, by the way, the default fields within HubSpot, and this is the reason why they were not closed. And then we have a deal owner, we have the pipeline, a deal description, and this is what we're going to work with. And then we could have associations to the email and the companies, right? So it's not really about the actual table, but just to give you an idea what this table looks like. All right, so what we want to do is to, first of all, within our flow, we're going to start this manually, but obviously you can use a schedule trigger for this, right? I'm going to use this as a for the testing purpose. I'm going to use the manual trigger, and the first thing that we are going to do is to get, first of all, the leads that we want to work with, right? So I'm going to open up the HubSpot node, and as you can see, this is connected to my HubSpot account. And the resource we want to deal with are the deals. Actually, we want to get many deals. We want to get basically all of them. I am limiting this to one just for the presentation purposes. And then I'm going to include, first of all, the associations. And by the way, these extra options, as you can see, are hidden behind this very dropdown. And these are the properties within my account, within that deals table that I want to work with, right? And these match, obviously, to what we have within our HubSpot account right here. All right, so this is already it. And when I execute this, then you can see that I get a bunch of data, and within the properties, now these are exactly the parameters that I want to work with, right? All right, so next step is that I'm going to filter out the ones that have not the status of closed lost, right? So if we jump into HubSpot again, then you can see that the deal stage, right, says closed lost, and this is exactly what I'm filtering here. So as you can see, this is a filter node, and now I am using the parameter of deal stage. So if I look for deal stage in the previous node, then you can see that within the properties, I do get the deal stage right here, right? And the value will be this one. So it's a closed lost within one term. This is one word. And I'm basically saying if that's the term, then I want to go on with the whole flow. So I'm going to execute this one as well. And obviously now I only get one, right? Because I only got, because I limited this to one item. If I am going to limit this to 20 and I have 20 test accounts within my HubSpot account, I'm going to close it. I'm going to cut the connection right here, going to run the whole flow so that it goes until here. Then now you can see I get 20 items in total, which are all of these deals. And when I jump back into n8n, then it filtered out 12. So 8 of those, because there are basically 8 leads that are not closed lost, right? All right, so after this, we already have our AI agent where the magic is happening. And this is a very simple prompt, actually. So this is an AI agent node, obviously. As you can see, the source for the prompting will be defined below. It will not be the chat trigger node. It will be defined below. And I have added a system message down here, right? So if I open this up, then you can see that I have added the system message, which is the system prompt. And the system prompt is quite easy. And as you can see, I only told it that it is a RevOps assistant, and your job is to reanalyze lost deals and identify if they are worth revisiting. Use your tool Google Search via API. I'm going to get to this in a second to conduct more research about a company if necessary, right? And this is also pretty nice because maybe something has changed the last time you have contacted or researched a specific company, that changes the whole deal in some way, shape, or form, right? And obviously you can expand this. So when I close this again, then you can see that I have added as a tool this Google search scraper, which will basically conduct a Google search for a specific company. But obviously you can get more data from LinkedIn, you can get more data from Wikipedia, whatever might be interesting, and to do some research and to scrape more data about that company that might be relevant because circumstances might have changed, right? All right, so The next thing is that I have connected is to a chat model. The one that I'm using is GPT-5 Mini, so no big surprises there. This is connected to my account, and the model I chose, as I've said, is GPT-5 Mini. Then I have added an output parser, and I'm going to show you what this means. So I'm going to open up the AI agent node again, and you can see that I have toggled this option right here, which is called require specific output format, right? And this enables me later on to really work with the JSON output of this agent, and then to have the flexibility to drag and drop the parameters that are going to be output individually, right? So what this means is if I open up the output parser, then you can see that this is the structure that I want the agent to output its results, right? So I have the parameter of salvageable, which can only be true or false. Then I have a reason, and then the suggested next steps, right? This is the structure that I want the agent to output its response. All right. Now, before I forget, I also have obviously added a prompt within the user message, and let's take a quick look into this. So review this deal, the company, and then I drag and drop the company name out of what we have got out of HubSpot. Then the reason it was lost, and this is where we are using, if we take a look into our CRM again, the parameter of closed lost reason, right? And this is one of those sections right here. And then the rep notes, right? And this is important, obviously, because this is a free text field, right? So everybody can just add its own individual note. And this is sometimes important to have the assessment via the AI agent if there might be more potential, you know? So because, you know, reps do make mistakes. We are humans, we make mistakes, and it is worth to take a look into if there's more potential, right? And then return JSON with these fields. And these are exactly the fields that I have defined in the output parser earlier. All right, that's already it. I'm going to close this. I'm going to close this as well. And now we have a fully equipped AI agent, and then I'm using an if node, which is just called salvageable. And if I open this up, then you can see that the only thing that I'm telling it that the previous results, right, from the agent, which is the salvageable variable, that I want this to be true, and then it can go on. And now you can see how we can work with the output parser, because now we're able to actually work with those individual variables that we have gotten out of the AI agent, right? And you will understand this if we are going to take a look at the demo in a second. So if there's still some potential, then we are taking the true path. Otherwise, it will take the false path. And obviously you can, you know, add another workflow or add a further flow into this. So if there's more potential, then we are going to take the true path, and then the only thing that we're going to do is to update the description within HubSpot again, right? So when I open this up, then again, this is connected to HubSpot. The resource will be a deal, and this is the operation. I want to update that deal. Then I'm using an ID because the deal that I want to target will be the specific one that I have gotten out of the previous notes, and I'm just dragging and dropping the variable right there. And then I am adding in the description, first of all, what we had before, so that I don't delete the current description, right? So this is the parameter that I have gotten out of the previous node. Then I just add the word edit, then I'm adding the current date, and then I am going to add the suggested next steps of the AI agent that it gave me, right? So we're going to see what this looks like in a second. So I'm going to close this again, and then we have the last step where I'm going to basically notify the reps. I'm going to open this up. This is connected to my Gmail account. I'm going to send a message. This is obviously hard-coded right now, but you will and can get the owner of a specific deal within HubSpot, right? The deal owner using their API as well, and then you can basically send it dynamically to the owner of that specific lead, right? But I'm going to hard-code it right now just for demo purposes. The subject is hidden potential in CRM, and then this is the body. Hi Aziz, please take a look at this lead, and then I have the deal ID. This is what we found. The lead seems to be salvageable. Then I have the reason again, and then the next steps, which are the suggested next steps, and then just saying thanks. All right, and this is the notification. Now, obviously, you can work further with further options from HubSpot, right? You can, for instance, create a task, right, or a ticket within HubSpot itself. However, HubSpot, if we jump back into n8n and you look for HubSpot, then you can see that there are no native task options, right? And we could have created a ticket, but maybe for this purpose, this is a little too much and not the real purpose of a ticket. But you would, if you wanted to create a task, then you would need to use HubSpot's developer API, right? And make a custom HTTP request. And this is the HTTP request node, right? But I'm not going to get into this right now. But as you can see, this is still a very solid solution to notify our rep, first of all, and then obviously to also have, you know, like a second assessment of that specific deal. All right, so we are going to run this flow really quickly, and let's just see what happens. And by the way, I have mentioned the Google search scraper, right? And I'm using Apify for this, so we can take a look into this. And if you haven't heard of Apify, this is basically a scraping platform which will enable you to scrape any kind of information from any kind of platform, basically. And I'm going to put the link in the description. All right, so let's run this. All right, when we are done with the run, and let's take a look into the results. So first of all, I wanted to show you what this means if we are using the output parser. And now you can see that because of the template we gave it, the JSON template, and we are generating that from a JSON example, you can see that the output contains individual parameters and variables that we are able to drag and drop individually. It's not one whole text, but we can use all of these individually. I'm going to close this again, and then let's take a look into the AI agent itself. So if we open up this, then you can see that this is the output. And first of all, it's interesting that it did find a salvageable lead, right? And I'm just inputting one item, right? So the very first that it found that was closed lost. But obviously this is interesting, right? That it assessed that there might be some potential. Then it gave us a reason, and then also the suggested next steps, right? And these are the values that we can use further on. And this is exactly what we're using within the if node, right? So we are asking it, is the lead salvageable or not? And the result of this was true. And then we're checking via a Boolean if this is true. And this is exactly the case with this one. So we're taking the true path. All right, then we have the update in the description. And when I open this up, then now you can see that first of all, we are getting the deal ID from the previous node, right? This is from the get many deals node. And if I collapse this, and if we toggle this one, then you can see within the get many deals node that we have a deal ID, and this is exactly the one that we are using here so that it knows which deal to update exactly. And then we have the description, and within the description now you can see that we are getting the value of the description from the previous node, right, which was not aligned but needs automated returns. Then we are adding an edit and the today's date, and then the suggested next steps, so that these are added into your CRM right away. And we can take a look into the CRM itself. I'm going to refresh the page, and let's see, by the way, which deal was updated. So I'm going into the get many deals again, and I'm looking for the company name, and this is the deal name. And here you can see fast your returns flow. I'm going to jump into HubSpot again, and this is this one right here. So let's take a look into the description, and now you can see that within the deal description it has added exactly the information that we have gotten out of this, right? And yeah, so this is not gone, right? This was the first note that was added to this specific deal. Then we have the edit today's date and the complete description and why the AI is things that we need to try to close this deal again. Back into n8n, I'm going to close this as well. And now finally the notification. So when I open this up and I'm going to jump into the message itself, then you can see, hi Aziz, please take a look at this. Then we have the deal ID, so that obviously the rep knows what deal to look for in the CRM. Then this is what we found out. The lead seems to be salvageable. And then we have the reason, right? We have the reason from the AI agent. We have put this, drag and drop this into the text itself, right, into the body copy of the email itself. These are some very specific next steps that the rep can conduct, right? That's already it. So very powerful system, right? And as you can see, this is not that big of a deal in regards to the complexity. And if you want to learn more about this, then first of all, I would highly appreciate if you liked and shared this video, and obviously also subscribe to this channel, because I'm sharing these kinds of videos all the time. And then I am also building Script AI School, and this will be, you know, your go-to hub, if you will, first of all, to get all the assets, right? And then also, if you want to get more into n8n, automations, AI, what have you, into building AI agents, how to use RAG, how to use scraping, right? How to use scrapers by using Apify, for instance, then this is the place to go, and much, much more. Now, this will be a paid community, but at the time of this recording, if you join today, this will be free for you forever, right? So don't miss out on this. All right, so this was today's session. Thanks a lot for your attention, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.